guys, Tina here, the Critical Virgo. Welcome back to another Fragrance Friday. So today I have something that was waiting for me in my P.O. box when I returned in from vacation. You already know what it is by the title. It's another House of Matriarch fragrance, and it is a new release, Nouveaunille. It is a fragrance that Christy and Joseph Sagona worked on together. And if you don't know, he's like this OG in the fragrance community. I always associate him with one of the larger Facebook groups, and he did work with her on The Longing, which is a fragrance that I own and I really love. So when I found out that they were both working on this together, I got really excited, and I found out it was a gourmand, so I was like, check, interest is piqued. I went on pre-sale, I read the notes, I said, gotta get some, got a sample size. I didn't just blind buy the bottle, because when it comes to natural perfume, there's a lot of things that just don't work on my skin, and just a small handful of things that really do. So I always sample when it comes to natural fragrances, especially before I buy. So I picked up the small 2 milliliter sample, and I forgot when I purchased this on pre-sale. I don't know if it was like October or November. I know it was before the holiday, but so much has happened between when I actually purchased it and when I received it that I honestly, the only thing I remembered when I got the package was that this is a gourmand fragrance. I didn't remember what the notes were, the main theme of it. So I sprayed some on and I did not look at the notes. I wanted to have a genuine first experience. I feel like sometimes when we read the notes and we smell something, like we're smelling what we read instead of actually experiencing the fragrance. So I just did this blind, I guess you could say. I didn't spray a lot. You guys know that I am like the queen of overspraying. I'm usually like 10, 15, 20 sprays deep. I didn't do it with this because when it comes to natural fragrance, if I do that, I go nose blind very quickly. So I find it best to put a little bit on and see how it goes throughout the day. So I did one spritz on my chest because throughout the day, you know, it gets warm, you get your shirt moving, you get these wafts. And then I also did one on my wrist, on my pulse point. And that's another good one because I'm constantly moving it around. I wanted to see how it would wear. And again, another really great spot to try stuff out on. So I sprayed this on, and the first thing that I noticed, like right off the top, it's the most dominant note on my skin, is the caramel. I was honestly so blown away by this caramel that I focused on it so much the first time I wore this. It's not that I missed a lot of other things, but I was just so blown away. That's my honest first impression. And then once I got over the whole initial, oh my God, look at this, like smell this caramel, what's going on, I started to get some imagery in my head. Now, there is no coffee in this. It's not like a cake kind of fragrance, okay? But I'm just using this to give you some sort of imagery of what I experienced. When I smelled this for the first time, I pictured a really sweet, creamy, rich, okay? So by creamy, I mean like you're putting some either half and half or heavy cream in this thing. Like, it is thick. It's just silky on your tongue. Caramel coffee, okay? And the butteriness in this fragrance almost had me thinking, like, is this really caramel, or is this like butter, like toffee butter, buttered toffee? Because it's so rich, it's insane. And I think I'm associating a cup of coffee with this because of how dark and rich this fragrance is. So immediately my mind thinks coffee. Now I'm also thinking like Sunday breakfast, because this is very, even though it's not sickeningly sweet, there is some very rich, sweet element to this. And it has me thinking of like pancakes with, again, a lot of butter, back to the butter, and maple syrup on top. So I'm just picturing like this wonderful Sunday morning spread in front of me. and I'm getting hungry. Are you getting hungry? And it's just the most delicious, mouth-watering experience that I've had. And I've never had this type of reaction from a House Matriarch fragrance. I'll be real. When I like hear the name, I mostly associate it with more medicinal, kind of herbal, natural fragrance, you know? So I was really, again, taken aback by my initial impression of this. I sprayed it on, I went to work. For the first like 20 to 40 minutes, I got a lot of that projection. The caramel was just the most dominant thing for the first 40 minutes. And then it started to dry down and settle down on my skin. The caramel was present from the beginning to the end, okay? That's the last thing I'm gonna say about the caramel. I'm gonna go into the other stuff right now. But once it settled down, I had a different experience. I started to notice the woods more. I really like the sandalwood that Christy has. I think it's really creamy. It's very clean. It's not like very fake, artificial smelling. I really, really like it. I also don't know if maybe I'm getting that like maple syrup imagery, not only because of the fenugreek, but also maybe because of the Guiac wood, which can be, you know, on the sweeter side of woods. And because I'm talking about all the notes right now, let me just give you the notes because I should. They'll be in the down bar too. There's a trio of vanillas. So you got Hawaiian, Madagascan, and Tahitian. You got some woods, oud, sandalwood, Guiac, caramel, buttery rhizomes, cacao, cruelty-free musks, myrrh, and fenugreek. So fenugreek can be like, if you've never smelled it before, it can be on the like maple syrupy kind of side, and Guiac to my nose smells sweet. So I think that those two things really play well together and probably amped up the caramel in this and made me think of, you know, breakfast. Why not, right? The oud, it's not a very oudy oud, if that makes sense. It's very wearable, non-offensive, very unisex. This fragrance is very, very unisex, okay? There is a slight herbal quality, not in a bad way. That's probably the myrrh coming out. It's just a little hint of something that reminds you that this is a House Matriarch fragrance, but it's not that typical herbally, earthy. Actually, you know what? I think it kind of brings some earth and body to this fragrance. Maybe just a slight bitter bit to it, which might also be why I'm associating it with coffee, because black coffee is bitter. The vanillas are very creamy, and that's again why I went back to a very rich, light and sweet cup of coffee, and that's what I had pictured in my mind. Overall, I think it's blended beautifully. I have nothing bad to say about it. The second time that I tried this out, in the opening, because I already knew what to expect with the caramel, I was able to also appreciate the woods more in the opening. Again, that second experience was very similar to the first in the fact that the caramel was the most present thing, and I know that I said that was the last time I was going to mention it a while ago. I lied, sorry. And overall, it was a great experience. As far as wear time goes on this, so you guys know I have some difficult skin. I put it on an 8, and by 3 I didn't notice it as much. But the weird thing is it would like come in and out. So I think that part of it had to do with, you know, me being a little nose blind to it. I was very annoying at work, and I asked a lot of people, can you smell me? Can you smell me? Like, and they kept reassuring me that they could. So I know that it was there. It's not a fragrance that's gonna like fill up a room, not after it dries down, but people will smell you. So just know that. And then after like 3:30, I really just stopped asking everybody because I think I was getting like a little annoying. And I went to the gym after work, so I get out of work at 5. And I smelled it again once I started like sweating and I was really heating up. So I know it was still there. It wasn't like as present again as in the morning time, but it was still there. So it actually performed really well as far as wear time and projection goes. I want to say it's similar to and on par with the experience I had with the Longing. Because of that, you know, I'm definitely going to pick up a travel size atomizer of this. I really enjoy this. It's a beautiful gourmand, and I don't have any caramel fragrances in my collection like this. Actually, I don't have any caramel fragrances, period. So this would be my first and probably only, because I don't like a lot of caramel fragrances generally. And I reached out to Christy because the bottle for the 2 ml was plastic. I just wanted to make sure that the 15 ml would still be glass, and she reassured me that it was. So I will definitely be picking up that soon. I'm sure some of you have received your sample, so I can't wait to hear what your experience was. It might be a little different than mine because I live in hot Florida and you might be somewhere cold right now. But again, put a comment down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I will be posting a post on my website down below. I'll put a link to it tonight. So go check that out if you want to read about my experience as well. I'll also be putting a link to where you can purchase this. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Till next Friday, guys. Bye. Hey, Mommy, come here. You guys remember this little monster? She's not so little anymore. This is Mama, or Snickers, or whatever we're calling her. The cat that adopted me. Say hi. Isn't she pretty? Look at her. Mommy. Oh, there you go. That's pretty good. Okay. So if you hear her bell in the background, I'm sorry about that.